Good evening. This is the last presentation. I hope I don't bore you. I'm talking about a very interesting topic, which is travel. I hope everyone loves to travel. And the chances are 7 out of 10 people here would have booked their travel through a credit card recently. So what we are talking about is travel infrastructure for financial institutions, trying to understand why this is a big deal and something that I am very passionate about. So today, if you look around, this is something that is in front of us, but everyone ignores that financial institutions already power significant amount of travel in terms of spends, in terms of loans, in terms of credit card rewards. It is all around us. But when you think about travel, you think about OTAs and not about the credit cards that you use. In India today, the sixth biggest OTA is actually HDFC Smart Buy in terms of volume. They do $750 million worth of GMV processing through their Smart Buy portal, which unfortunately goes to the OTA, so it doesn't show up anywhere. But the reality is that this is the sixth biggest OTA in the country that a lot of you might be using, but you don't think about it as a travel company. And lending is one of the biggest source of travel. Almost 18 to 20% of personal loans in India are taken for travel as a reason. BNPL in travel is growing almost at a 25% CAGR. And more than one third of consumers are looking for easier options to pay for their travel, be it flights, be it hotels, or any other part of the ecosystem. I'm just giving you a small examples from United States as a leading indicator of what is happening. It is not a model to copy, but it is just a signal of where things are going. Bank as an OTA. It is basically a new concept that has been existing for a very long time. Recently, JP Morgan Chase took a big plunge into this, acquired a couple of companies during pandemic and created a OTA within its infrastructure, which is doing almost $15 billion worth of bookings in less than 4 years. It is the fastest growing OTA now in US market, ahead of Expedia and Booking.com. Capital One is another example, which recently announced that they are acquiring the tech provider who is powering their OTA, because for them, travel is a very important part of their credit card portfolio. And a significant amount of $300 million has been spent by these companies over the last 3 years, just making their travel ecosystem as comparable as the online players. And as everyone likes to talk about Gen Zs, almost 1/3 of Gen Zs in US book their travel only through credit cards on the banking portals. 75% of the recent Amex users were millennials and Gen Zs. And they have a retention percent in that category of almost 98% because of the strong travel offering. Only 25% of Gen Zs and millennials in US actually book their travel now on OTAs. It has all moved to the banking, on the banking portals right now. And this is something that we are basically, India is trying to get towards across the credit card portfolio. This is a case study from Revolut, where out of their $4 billion income, only 25% comes from lending, and the rest, 75%, comes from fee-based income, wherein 541 million of that can be attributed to travel directly or indirectly. It is through bookings, it is through subscriptions that they provide to their users, which are heavily incentivized through travel offerings like lounge access, discounted travel tickets, or it can be cancellation protection, like what happened with Indigo recently. So imagine if you had booked an Indigo flight and your credit card said that don't worry about the refund, I'll take care of it. So that is an experience that Revolut provides to its users in other markets. And travel is one of the products which a lot of banks outside India use to make the interactions, to turn the interactions into emotions. Because you really depend on your bank when you're traveling outside of a country for any kind of financial decisions, independence, buying anything, interacting anything with anyone. And travel is also a divisional product. It basically touches a lot of P&Ls in the bank at this point in time. It touches basically credit cards, which is one of the biggest use case for rewards, for earning. I think a lot of people optimize your credit cards based on how much reward you will get for which flight and how much redemption you can take for out of it. Consumer loans that we spoke about. Corporate banking is one of the biggest use cases of travel that unfortunately no one in the country does. No corporates get any discount on corporate travel, but there is a way to actually incentivize the current account holder to actually use their debit card or credit card to book corporate travel with the bank, which can create a virtuous cycle for the bank and the user to stay together. And basically the current account salaries that we spoke about. So what we're trying to basically do with our product and what we'll come to that, is basically create a shift in the mindset across financial institutions that travel, because if you look in the history of credit cards or at this point in time, in 1950s when credit cards were started, the second use case was paying for hotels, and the third use case was paying for flights. The first use case was dining. But these were the top three use cases, almost two of them are basically related to travel. And basically, we are trying to basically educate the banks that how can owning the stack, the consumer experience within your ecosystem can significantly change your bottom line in terms of reward P&L. So why now? Basically, right now, we feel the behavior that is happening in India in terms of optimizing for credit cards, optimizing for rewards and BNPL is right there at the cusp of enabling and ensuring that you can actually take a larger piece of this entire ecosystem. And rather than looking at travel as a perk, you should start looking at travel as a platform. And at this point of time, the evolution in the travel infrastructure has also become to a point where it has become plug and play, that anyone can come in and work with someone like us to kind of integrate and make it as a significantly better offering to their customers. So these are basically OnArrival is an AWS for travel. We are a new age infrastructure where we are enabling anyone and everyone to launch travel as an embedded product for any consumer products. We work with financial institutions, super apps, corporate travel, and AI-first companies who are looking to integrate inventory into their flows. Because just helping you search something is not enough. You need to have the ability to book it as well. This is the overall view of the platform in terms of how we. In terms of how we basically make our integrations very simple, what is the engine all about in terms of what we do as a middle layer and what kind of supply that we have aggregated. The core team that the company has used to work in ClearTrip for almost half a decade. I have spent close to 5 years with them, managed multiple business portfolios, and that's the expertise that we are bringing into this ecosystem. These are some of our customers, Aditya Birla, Bajaj Markets, Neo Global, Unicards, which have gone live with our products. Kiwi, OneCard, Jupiter, Pop Club, all of them have flights and hotel bookings which are incentivized using their credit cards. And the last slide is basically travel for a financial institution is almost a $500 to $700 million opportunity. 55% of travel in India is booked through credit cards, and banks and financial institutions already spend $200 million yearly trying to discount travel transactions on OTA checkout. So the idea of owning that experience means that you can tap into another $500, $700 million worth of revenue, which can be used towards bettering the overall ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you very much.